Good evening. We're going to read to you a story from the book Stories of Don Bosco. Death of a Man.
In the years that followed, Lewis became for John an inseparable companion. At the same time, he was to be used by Providence to teach John a lesson which would not only last him for the rest of his life, but would also bring him close to the grave. Events began to take a tragic turn when John went to discuss with him some problems for the coming school year. During the conversation, John dropped a casual remark: "The wine harvest won't be too good next year." "Next year," said Lewis, "I shall drink a very different kind of wine." "What do you mean?" Instead of answering, Lewis changed the subject. On their return to school, John noticed that more than ever his friend was taking up with spiritual interests. His health, too, was failing. This was partly due to the fact that both of them were accustomed to mortifying themselves, perhaps at times unwisely. Lewis went to the length of denying himself even the food necessary to keep up his strength. John did the same. There was a difference, however. Whereas John, who was as sturdy as a young bull after a period of fasting, soon regained his strength, Lewis did not, and should have refrained from practices so injurious to his health. When he was warned about these excessive penances, his only answer was, "For me, it is enough that they don't harm my soul." On observing him during these periods, one of his companions remarked, "It looks like as if he really wants to kill himself." "John," he suddenly announced one morning, "I am going to die, and am terribly afraid of death." John tried to reassure him, but although Lewis was able to attend Mass, once Mass was over, he fainted and had to be carried to bed. As soon as John was free, he ran up to the dormitory. "I think you and I will have to part," said Lewis in a very weak voice. He was able to leave his bed for a few days, only to collapse again, and was given 3 bloodlettings. This was the accepted remedy of the time, and was applied only to those near death. John was with him on the night when he became delirious, and it took the strength of several companions to hold him down. He kept crying out that he was afraid of the judgment of God, until he had a dream which helped to convince him that his fears were groundless. On the following morning, while the others were out, John spent the last few moments in the company of his dying friend. At 22 years of age, Peter Louis Camolo died. If John was deeply affected by the death of his friend, he was shocked by what happened later. This came about because they had made a secret pact that whoever died first would, if God permitted, appear to the other to tell him if he had been saved. He himself described what happened on the night after the funeral. "I had already gone to bed but could not sleep. I kept turning over in my mind the promise we had made and felt greatly disturbed, even frightened by it. At the stroke of midnight, I heard a low rumbling noise coming from the end of the corridor. The noise increased as it approached. I don't know how exactly to describe it, except that it was made up of crashes so violent and earth-shaking that it left speechless anyone who heard it. As it approached, the walls and ceiling shook as if they had been made of sheets of steel, and some powerful arm was shaking them. The seminarians were now wide awake, but no one said a word. By this time, I was rigid with fright. The noise came closer, always more terrifying, and when it reached the dormitory, it burst open the door. It grew still louder, and all we could see was a soft, varicolored light which seemed to regulate the noise. Suddenly there was silence. The light grew brighter, and from its center came a voice. "Bosco! Bosco! Bosco!" It was distinctly the voice of Camolo. "Bosco! I am saved!" The next moment the light shone at its brightest. The next increased to its loudest, becoming almost loud enough and strong enough to wreck the building. Then all at once the noise stopped and the light went out. My companions jumped up from their beds and ran in all directions, not knowing where to turn. Finally, they huddled together in the corner of the dormitory until the prefect came in and succeeded in calming them. They passed that night sleepless, waiting for the comfort of the light of day. I suffered terribly from this experience, and the fright I received was such that at the moment I would have preferred to die. It so affected my health that it brought me to the edge of the tomb and left me in such poor state that it took me several years to recover. If the shock to his physical condition was severe, it was nothing to the shock which he suffered in his spirit. This was a repetition of the lesson in detachment he had received in his childhood days from the loss of his beloved birds. Unlike the first experience, however, this one was never to be forgotten. Never again, he decided, would he allow himself to become attached to any living creature.
So this is the same teaching I received from the book All-Embracing and Unassuming. It talked about a Tai Chi type of philosophy, the Taoists. They welcome everyone. As you approach them, they welcome you. If you attack them, they respond. If you're polite, they are also polite. They're all welcoming and unassuming. They're not proud. How dare you invade my space? They're humble. It matches my philosophy of being like the clouds. You can speak, but your children don't have to listen to you. That is from the book Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. Your duty is to listen to them. So it goes with my philosophy about the clouds. Humans come together and then they separate, just like the clouds. However, it's not my turn yet to leave you, or for you to leave me, you see? So what do you get out of this Bosco? I am saved.
It's saying that God exists.
And God permitted it.
And to make a pact. Just like Bosco. No. Alright.
Well, you see, God gives people certain things. He gave Kitabu Roshi Turner the ability to knock people down with one finger, to defeat them. Men bigger than him, smaller, faster. He can just touch them with one finger and they go down. Because he prayed the warrior's prayer, Psalm 144. Blessed be the Lord of my strength, who teaches my fingers to fight and my hands to make war. So he prayed as a little boy to God to give him this gift. And then he got the karate books and he started practicing. And then he became like the Buddha, enlightened. So now, I'm an old man now, but I would like to accomplish something. So I've decided to become a millionaire, my son. But it'll be much faster and easier if you were to join me. What pleasure do I have in having money, and if you don't have the knowledge to do something with it, what pleasure do I get out of it? My joy is to see you be the centurion. And those that God is putting near us, members of Mule Team 6. Doesn't it sound like funny?
Yeah.
The grass cutters. Mule Team 6 with radios. Come in, Mule Team 1. Yes, Mule Team 6, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear. Over. Did you finish cutting the grass for Mrs. Murray. 10-4. So mission has been completed. I'm en route to cut the grass for Mr. Martinez. Right? It'll be fun. I'll join you there, Mule Team 5. Mule Team 3. Come in. No, I'm serious. We could have how many pickup trucks with what do you call those things? Riding lawnmowers and trailers and it's so much fun, son. Cutting grass is just fantastic. And you know that our tractors are going to have air conditioning. I saw one guy on YouTube, he put plastic around it, see-through plastic, like aquarium type thing. Yeah. And he put an air conditioner in the back, and he put a generator on the back, and that's what he has. While I'm at it, I just discovered a video about copper clothing, and copper eliminates bacteria. So pennies, for some reason, shouldn't have any bacteria. Correct?
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's a difference between real copper and a penny. Maybe it's copper paint. But I've never seen it wear off. I've never seen a penny, become another color. I'm gonna have to polish a penny or cut it in half and see what I see in the middle. Or what some people used to do with silver coins. They used to grab a knife and just file a little bit off a coin on the edges, on the outside. And then you save it. Once you have so much weight, you get more silver. Alright, so copper clothing. Check out the videos about copperclothing.com.uk, or actually copperclothing.co.uk. There's a young lady there that she was 16 years old, and she discovered that her dog's bed was stinky, so she wanted to make a bed that didn't stink. And so she found out that copper is good for eliminating bacteria. And so she made her dog bed out of copper. But it's soft. It's just copper coated or something. It's got copper fibers in it. And now there are copper socks. There are copper pajamas for people in hospitals. One of the doctors says that he wore the same sock for 3 days, and he was amazed that there was no smell, which is just something that it shouldn't happen. There should be, but copper does things, good things. So this is a wonderful thing, because I have a friend that has a foot that had a surgery and she has not healed in months. She's also a diabetic. That's a magnet.
Yeah.
I love that. You ought to get into making jewelry again, son.
Mine made this for me a long time ago.
Alright. So there's a course called Jewelry Repair. That's another one that you should be into. Don't you want to have $100 in your pocket each day? Alright then. Come work with me. And let's get the tractor. Tractor number 1. Sir? You say it would be awesome, man. But what? Look, when are you going to work with me then?
I don't know. Maybe I'd be able to work with you if you actually got good sleep.
You can't do 10 things or 100 things. You got to focus.
I've been trying to focus on sleeping.
Well, turn off the light.
Well, you keep
Come over here
saying
earlier. Come to bed earlier. Turn off the fan.
No. How many minutes have that video been?
15.
7 of those minutes was you talking. At the end.
All right. And?
I didn't even fall asleep.
All right, do it. Turn off the light.
Okay.
God bless you and those that surround you. Come work with me if you want to. I live here in Deltona, Florida. See you in the next video. We're going to be cutting grass. All right? Thank you. Bye-bye.